We still have with us Minister Fashola. This last lap of this conversation, we're talking to you now as Lagosians, as our former governor. We're not discussing to you, you're not discussing with you just as regular people, but we're as Lagosians, telling you, asking you to tell us the truth and speak to us as your constituents. You're a former governor of this state. You led this state. And many have alluded your success to your the forebearer, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who was before you. And many have also said that he started the projects, and many of the concepts, the ideas and the blueprints, an idea of what Lagos should be, which you worked on, and even what Babajide Sanwo-Olu is working on now. But many still feel that Asiwaju shouldn't be running for president today. In your view, because they feel, he has already led Lagos, and we've seen the success of Lagos. Why is he running for presidency? Does he need to say that he's a Milokon? He's a party leader. He should remain a Afobaje, not a leader. What are your thoughts? Do you think Asiwaju indeed has the capacity to lead this country?
Without a doubt in my mind, I've worked with him, and I was his chief of staff for 4.5 years. So I worked with him on a minimum basis of about 14 hours a day. So I saw him at close quarters. You underestimate his resilience and you underestimate his intelligence at your own peril. And go and read the tribute I wrote when he turned 60. So, yes, but he's a much older man. And one side of the question is okay because he's older. The other side is that what is on offer on the other side? Is there not something inherently or altruistically patriotic about this move that in spite of this, I want to do this for my country? And what does he want to do for his country? You know, when people talk about what he did in Lagos, and I think you localize it when you even focus it on Lagos, but let us remember that the first state bond for infrastructure and development in this country was raised during his time as governor. And it was raised in spite of a federal PDP opposition, saying that it couldn't be done. But that is the model, that is the pathway that all states now follow to raise funding. So there was a funding problem. We still have a funding problem, a revenue problem. IGR expansion, his model is the model that all the states have now followed. So why are you hiding behind a finger? So Nigeria has similar problems. We need to expand our revenue base. And so this is what he's offering. When people were struggling with access to justice, Office of the Public Defender was created here. The last time I checked, 10 other states, including opposition, have created their own version of the Office of Public Defender. So even those who oppose him adopt his policies. The Lagos State Advertising and Signage Agency, LASA, was not just to reform and strengthen and reposition advertising business, it was to increase local government revenues, who have the constitutional responsibility for outdoor signage and advertising. The last time I checked, if you check, 15 states in Nigeria have passed their own version of LASA. And 16 states have passed their own version of LASMA. All of his policies have gained resonance nationwide, even by his most virulent critics. And he's saying now, I want to do this on a national scale. And you're asking me whether I should run. I will vote for him. And I'm campaigning for him. And let the opponents come and show us what they have done. Because we are now saying from local to national. What have you done? And you know the interesting thing? All of them held public office. All of them, at least the front runners.
The records are there.
So what have you done that has had national appeal, national acceptance, and national sustainability as to qualify you for this job? So it's not about how old the man is. Even his older version is better than any of their younger versions as I speak today. Because I've seen all of them at work. And I've taken time to objectively analyze what they have done. So you would hear that one of the candidates says, oh, yes, I'm going to privatize. We did privatization. Privatization of what? The privatization process started during Ibrahim Babangida, 1986. That was when the law was passed. And then you say you privatize, and that's why we have a telephone. Lie. What was privatized was Nitel. I don't know how many Nigerians use a Nitel line.
None under.
The lines we use today are licenses that were sold. And there's a very fine distinction between privatizing an asset and selling a license under a law that you did not enact.
Okay, that's fair. Question.
Okay, let's just quickly follow up since, you know, just on Monday, the 2nd of January, the governor of Lagos State was on set here, and we had asked whether what he felt about Asiwaju's candidacy. Also, he talked laudably about it. And I would like to know, since he is also running, you've governed the state where he's governing now, what do you think about his performance so far? And would you also vote for him? Not because he's from the party that you belong to anyway, but what do you think?
See, again, it's always what is on the other side. And this morning, I would vote for him, without a doubt. I'm going to campaign for him. I'm coming back home to campaign because I love this period. So, because I can go to the electorate with our results. That's the kind of politics that I love. But for me, leave all of the heavy lifting, all the infrastructure and all of it. Just imagine what life would have been if Governor Sanwo-Olu was not in charge when the COVID virus broke out. Just imagine. Those first incident cases, if they had disappeared into Nigeria. And it's almost similar to what happened during Ebola.
Yes.
So all of the hardware that we're talking about, he's finishing the rail, he's completed housing. Yes, but it is only for the living. How many more people? If that is one reason, healthcare and ensuring that we all stayed alive maximally as much as possible, he deserves my vote and as many of the 7 million registered voters in Lagos.
What's your relationship with him? Because I'd asked him, what's your relationship with him?
He calls me Egbon, and we have a good relationship. We still spoke, I think, on the third day of the year.
Right.
He was heading for Abuja, and I was hoping I could catch him in Abuja.
Okay.
We're in regular contact. So just to say that, of course, there's always room for improvement, but I won't discuss room for improvement by writing letters to him. I have a direct channel
to call him.
So nobody talks about Lagos State without your name dropping in, one way or the other. Yes, where he did this, where he did that. Even right now, you know, everyone is still commending your work that you did in Lagos State. And they would like to know if and when APC goes on to the next administration, would you be participating in any way?
As a
public office, as a minister, or are you going home? But they don't want you to go home. They're saying, will you come back?
I have been extremely privileged by this country. So whether it's in terms of the education I received here or the opportunities to serve at the highest levels, and at the time I did, I became chief of staff to this state at 39. So became her governor at 44. And I've run that race for 21 years now. I sincerely need a break. But that said, whatever is left of my life is to continue to serve. And it will be in different positions under consultation. Maybe not necessarily a 9-to-5 job anymore.
I want you to talk to something
I need to catch my breath.
I want you to talk to something really important, because as the campaigns are ongoing, people are using religion as a tool. You're married to a Christian, you're a Muslim. And I'd like you to share your thoughts on how all the organizations that should know better are using this, our people, let's vote our own, let's vote your own, you know, and they're making it a religious vote, not an objective vote on issues. What has been done, what can be done, and who has the ability to do it. What are your thoughts on this, and how do you think we can dissuade from using religion as a political tool in this season?
I think the best way to dissuade it is to defeat those who reach out to those arguments. I remember when we wanted to raise sukuk funding, and people, whether in ignorance or mischief or a combination of both, said, oh, they were going to use it to Islamize Nigeria. But that sukuk funding is part of what is funding Lagos or Abeokuta Road. I'm sure Yakub does not care where the money comes from. He wants it done. That money has helped to complete local Weto Road. It is funding 75, across Nigeria. And what we did was, the first sukuk was raised during Mrs. Kemi Adeosun's time as finance minister, and it was 100 billion. And she said, oh, BRF, I have this problem. They say that some people are opposed to it. I said, just give me the money. And we divided it into six zones, 16.6 million per zone. And I said, let's call a press conference and ask any zone that does not want sukuk money to come out and say they don't want. Nobody answered. So who does not want a sukuk built road now? They are now asking for more. So it's a very base argument. It doesn't address the fundamentals of what we need to do. So when you get to hospital, do you ask for Christian blood when you are dying? Or do you ask for a Muslim surgeon when you need emergency care? Or when the pangs of childbirth holds you, do you say it must be somebody of your own faith who must be your midwife? And as you said, these things have no resonance in my own home. My father was Muslim. My mother is Anglican. I grew up in the Anglican church, in St. Jude's Church in Butemeta. Before I just said as an adult, okay, Mommy, I'm leaving you. I'm going to worship like my father. But how you worship and all of that really doesn't define the important thing. Do you serve God? So my wife is a dame of the Catholic Church, a title holder in that church, so is her mother. And we haven't had a religious conversation in our house. She fasts with me during Ramadan, cooks for all of the people, wakes up to cook for me. I join her sometimes in Lent. I'm a bad faster. Hey, in our homes, Christmas, New Year, Salah, Ramadan, Eid, everybody is together. I have 8 siblings. There are Christians among them. There are Muslims among them. But we're one big happy family. Those issues don't come up. And they don't come up in the Nigerian space unless by those who want to manipulate us, who have an interest to serve. Let us teach ourselves and our children to walk away from them.
Okay, sir. So Mohammed Ibrahim would be happy you answered it to that question because he had asked something in that line as well. But Lawansin Adewale is asking, so he's taking us back to roads. He says, Honorable Minister, sir, Ugeli to Port Harcourt has been under construction for only God knows. Then Calabar to Ogoja was constructed by RCC in 1983. Now it is a death trap. Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano Road used to be 4 hours to Kano. Now you can try it in 8 hours. You would like to hear?
Okay, so if you travel Abuja to Kano over the Christmas, you will see that Kano to Zaria, 137 kilometers almost done. There was no barrier on it during Christmas. The feedback I got was very, very positive. Zaria to Kaduna, about 70-odd kilometers, is about a 30-minute drive now. So where work remains is the Abuja to Kaduna end of it. And if you have any disagreements with that, you go and see what's going on. It's work in progress. On the Ogoja Road, Calabar Road, if you say a road was constructed in 1983, that would be about 40 years ago to the day. So roads have design lives of between 20 and 30 years. So clearly, it's outlived its design life, and that's why you will see that we have Sematech, we have Julius Berger, and I don't remember quite the name of the third contractor, working between Calabar, Itu, Udupani, all the way to Alesi, Ugep, and that area. So
okay. I have 3 minutes. Hang on, have 3 minutes. Let me.
Okay, there's just one last question. Koan Balogun says, we would like, a lot of people are tweeting about your form of leadership, but he is also advancing. He says, we would like to have a mentorship fellowship program there's a lot to learn from him, by extension, the next generation of leaders. So do you have a mentorship society or body or whatever? How are you training young leaders?
It's a very important point you make. And yes, many of the young people who worked with me have also blossomed, and I'm enthused to see what they're doing in their careers in different ways: medicine, health, sports, talent management, law, broadcasting. There's so many of them. And that is something possibly to fall back into on a sustained scale. But I just wanted to take the point that I wish that we acknowledge that between 1999 and now, we've had like 99, 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, at least 5 streams or thereabouts. Governors, senators, House of Rep members, those are our resource persons now. Those are the people who should be coming on all these shows to come and share practical experience as against those who are dealing in the theories. And to come and tell you how real and possible or impossible some of the theories that I hear bandied on TV and on radio are, as from his reality. And there are also people that the universities today can begin to recruit as visiting lecturers to come and share with students what the theory and the practical look like. As I tell people, when they teach you engineering when I was in power, they don't teach you that people are going to go and cut your transformer in the bush. And when they are teaching you banking and finance in class, they don't teach you that there's going to be round tripping. It's when you get into real life that you come and deal with it. And those are experiences that we must leverage. I know we have less than a minute left.
Any final words you want to say to Nigerians there? Obviously, Mariam asked if you accept any position in future.
Any final word is that we must all turn out to keep the APC government in office.
How do you convince the youth for that?
They understand, the youth understand, they've been listening to me, they understand what we have been doing, and they must understand that we cannot have the economy that we want without continuing the kind of investments that we have made. They understand that the challenges are many, but clearly, we are better to be entrusted with these challenges than those who have managed it before. And those who have not demonstrated any proven capacity should not come near this enterprise.
All right, that's all we can take. Thank you so much, sir. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
A pleasure.
Hopefully we'll bring you back again before the elections.
I'll be glad to come if you invite me.
You're always invited.
We've been speaking with the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Honorable Mr. Babajide Raji Fashola. Babatunde Raji. I used to
Babajide. Calling me my brother's name.
We're always calling our Sanwo-Olu. Babatunde Raji Fashola, BRF. Thank you so much for joining us. That's all we can take on today's show. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.